Hey everybody, Ingenious Baboon here. So today we're gonna talk about faces. I'm just gonna simply explain how we draw a face, not like a fully anatomical face, just a simple face with a different cartoon styles and expressions. So I'm gonna start with straight angle, which is like the identification photo. This angle is rarely used in storytelling or in any type of medium, but it is important to learn so that you can know how to locate things in your mind and then move them in 3D. That's why understanding form, like I say, is very important. Okay, so let's start by representing this face with a simple circle. So this circle, if I put a line in the middle, this line will represent the location of the nose and the mouth. So the nose and the mouth, in other words, are on this line right here. I could go ahead and put the nose and the mouth anywhere I choose right now, just to have fun, to see what kind of face we could end up. This is some kind of fun exercise also you can play at home. If you want to create like a random goofy looking face, you could try this. So that's the face and the mouth, and if I do a horizontal line, I am going to locate the eyes and the ears, very simply. But they do not always have to be on the same level, but it's good rule to remember that they, anatomically speaking, come on the same level. If the person is facing forward and looking at the camera straight forward, usually they are. But for example, right now the camera is a little bit below me, so you see that my eyes are above my ears. But if I look directly at the camera, then they get aligned more. So that is why you can put them on the same line here. Well, in a cartoonish, if I want to keep it realistic, I would put the eyes above the ears. But if I want to have fun, you could choose to put the eyes almost anywhere you want. Well, if you put them below the mouth, that would look very alien-like, which is why not if you want. But I'm gonna try to put them next to the nose, which is also kind of weird. I'm gonna see what happens. Let's see. So I guess definitely one ear that's bigger than the other, but that's okay. I am a bit tilted as I draw. Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's my face in the morning. So this is what you need to focus on when you're making a face, and you can go ahead and try doing this a few times. I feel like it's really fun and can generate really fun faces. You know, like you can start by doing a bunch of circles, and then you, on the middle line, you put a random nose, anything you want, and then a mouth. You can do it in a kind of a random way, and then you put the eyes as well, wherever you want. They could be really small, or maybe really low, like I did before. The ears as well, like I said, they can be at the same level of the eyes, but they could be at a different level. They could be very small, they could be very big. Since I gave this guy very small eyes, I'm obviously gonna give him very big ears. Why not? This guy only deserves extremely small ears. And now with those few repetitive things that I just did, I ended up with 4 different faces. Even though the 4 steps were the same, the faces were different. Of course, this is a great exercise to get started if you want to just randomize expressions. So having fun with stuff like that could give you ideas. And I always, when trying to learn something, you should try having fun at the end by trying to just have fun with the information you just received and see what you can do with it. That's the cool thing about art and drawing and everything you can learn. Really gives you the ability to now enjoy creating a game with this information that will help you retain this information and create weird things. And that all comes from the acceptance of your ideas and mistakes and all that, which I talked about in Ramen Heads. So now I'm gonna move on to the side view. For the side view, it's gonna be a very similar exercise. So you start with a circle. I'm gonna just do a double circle because the lines are not too visible. Now it's way more visible. It's amazing as soon as it becomes a double line. So side view, like the face you see on a coin most of the time, which is a face that's turned. Obviously, what's gonna happen is the center of the face this time is not gonna be in the center. The middle of the face is not gonna be in the center. The center of the face is gonna be either on the extreme left or extreme right of the circle. So it's gonna be, for now I'm gonna put it on the right of the circle, or on my left. So this line right here is the line that's the middle of the face and is the line where the nose is gonna be, somewhere around here, right? Of course I have to follow this circle if I wanna put the nose on this shape, or if I want to change the shape of that circle, then it would have to be somewhere between. So always when drawing, try to draw by not pressing too hard, because now this is a marker and I have to show you. You cannot feel the nuance, but when drawing, usually, especially on paper, try to barely press with lines like this where you can barely see them, because you're gonna draw on top of them and you don't want to erase, because it kind of ruins the rhythm of things. Alright, so my middle line is here. The nose is gonna be, I'm gonna put a random nose. This time it's a side view of the nose, so I'm gonna make it like a side view of the nose, and it's gonna be a cartoonish nose, of course, since this is still simple looking cartoonish things. If the nose is here, the mouth is gonna be maybe here, so I'm gonna descend with the mouth here. Now as you can see, like I said, this circle is a construction circle and I can expand below it and above it. So I'm gonna make the upper lip take all the part of the lower circle here, because I feel like it deserves it. And then I'm gonna add the lower lip here, and I'm gonna try to add the chin at an angle. It's always good to put an angle when it comes to the chin and the face, because and that's also a very common mistake that people do when they're starting to learn the side view, and when they're drawing the side of the face, is they tend to make the face too flat. If I'm able to capture the side view of my face, you will notice that there is an angle. We all have pointy faces. Now I must admit that my nose is maybe a bit more big than a regular nose, but still any person has a little bit of a pointiness to their face. Do you understand? It's very important to realize this pointiness and the angle of the face, and especially if you're drawing in the anime style and manga style, I mean, right? So in the manga style, that tilt is also enhanced even more. So this tilt here is gonna be represented like this. So I'm gonna do this here, and I'm gonna do that here. Do the chin around here, and I'm gonna connect the chin to that circle. So now you can see I have expanded to this circle and I have added something here. Now, like I said before, this middle line is the line that gave me all of these things, even though they are not connected to it directly. They're not like on it directly, they are around it, right? And that's enough for me, because these are construction lines. And now I'm gonna do the rest, which is what the eyes and the ears. So the eyes, I could also, since this is a cartoon, I could choose to put them anywhere I want. I really want to put them near the nose like I did before, because it's kind of funny, but I'm gonna try to choose to put them now really high, because I can also be funny, and I don't really want to do that, which is why I'm gonna try and do it, because it's gonna make me do more mistakes, and we're here to have fun. So I'm gonna put the eyes maybe here, I don't know, and I'm ending up with a really weird face I don't want to end up with, but why not? Why not? I like the fact that I squished his forehead and his hair all the way in between this space. I would have never wanted to do that. And I gave him a long face, which can help me give him all the wrinkles I want and make his face super expressive, you know. So Now let's go with the exercise. Let's do a few circles and then repeat this process. So you know where I put the lines before. You don't have to put them every time. They're just here to help you. If you know them by heart, you can apply them in your mind and just draw whatever you want to draw. Or if you don't, you can just draw them by barely pressing. If you're using a Sharpie, don't, obviously, on a paper. And if you're on digital, well, you probably know enough to be able to know what to do at this point with your tools. So the line will be here, for example, for this guy. This guy is gonna look the other way. This guy is gonna look the other way, and this guy is gonna look at this guy. Now let's see what happens. I'm gonna give him a rectangular nose. I'm gonna give him a small nose, and I'm gonna give him a round nose, and I'm gonna give him a long usop nose. For the mouth, I'm gonna give him a small mouth. He's like perking his lips, this guy. And a small chin. I'm gonna give him a big lip, upper lip, and a small lower lip, and a massive jaw. I'm gonna give him a small upper lip, and a big lower lip, and a small jaw. I'm gonna give him a regular mouth and a regular jaw. Now for the eyes and the ears, I would definitely want to give him small eyes. He has a funny contrast. And then the ears are gonna be also big, creating like a weird type of symmetry that shouldn't exist. And then you will have some kind of, I don't know, spiky hair. I don't know. That would be funny. I think his eyes will be not big, not small, but intense. Intense eyes. I want him to have intense eyes. As for this guy, he's gonna have sad eyes. This guy gave him regular. And I just made a bunch of faces. Of course, they don't look too great, but each and every one holds an idea, a nugget of an idea that can be developed into a character. The more I ridiculize and I live the character that I'm creating, the more I can really express and express myself and create my own style. So try to have fun with these exercises. They can really help you find your style. And now I'm gonna move on to the third face and the most important one. Because let's face it, the first one we did, the straight view, you're not gonna see in a story or in a film or in any form of storytelling. You're gonna very, very rarely see it. And also the same applies for the second one, which is the side view. You're gonna very rarely see it. Comparatively to the straight view, it's maybe a little bit more common, but still very rare. The most common one and the most difficult one of all those faces is gonna be the 3/4 view. Why? Why is it the most difficult? Well, very simple. It's because the straight view has one fixed angle for it. The side view has also one fixed angle for it. But the 3/4 view has a range of angles for it, which means it has an infinity of angles. There's an infinity of 3/4 views because it's within a spectrum, and a spectrum is infinite. No matter how small, it's still a spectrum. Between 1.1 and 1.11, there's an infinity of numbers, and if that's the spectrum, then that's the spectrum. It's very important to understand how to explore that range and how to draw faces on that range, because whenever you're going to be telling a story, drawing your comic or writing your storyboard, if you're drawing a face, most probably it's going to be a 3/4 view face. So when you're drawing that face, what do you focus on? Starting with a circle. Now I need to locate what? The middle, the center. This time we know that the face is not going to be all the way to the left or right. Neither it's going to be looking straight at the camera. It's going to be in between those two things. The best way to tackle the three-quarter view is with ovals. That means that line that's straight in the middle is never going to be a line. Now it's going to start curving. So it's now better to start thinking like I was talking about in the echoing blob. And not just one, but two. One for the center and one for the side of the face. Why? Because when you turn your face, your side of the face, which isn't circular, it's a flat surface, which is why a circle is not very accurate for the face, especially when it's in three-quarter view, because the side of the face is flat. But this part of the face here, the frontal part all the way, the back of the skull where it connects to the neck, it's a really perfect circle almost. Not really, but it's really circular, but this side of the head is really flat. Let's get back to drawing. So, the center of the face I will represent with a oval. Now I know that this oval is representing what? The center of the face. But obviously we can see that this part is way bigger than this part. I'm gonna mark it again just so it's more clear. So that's the center. And that's the other part of the face. Now there's still the side of the face, which means the eyes are going to be somewhere around these two lines, the nose is going to be somewhere here, the mouth is going to be somewhere here. So how do I do that? With another oval. So now what happened? Now we have these two parts. And now I know that the face is going to be here, and I know that the side of the face is here. So this is going to be the eye line, and I'm going to give it an angle and go up, and this is going to be the ear line. I'm going to put a line here as well, and then this here is going to be the location of the ears. Here I will put the eyes. Like I said before, here comes the nose. The mouth is somewhere here. Lower lip here. Chin is here. And now here comes the fun part, the chin shape. The chin shape in the three-quarter view is asymmetrical, which means it has symmetry, but the symmetry is maintained in a way where it doesn't look symmetrical. So how do you try to show that? How do you keep that in mind? By thinking that when I'm doing this three-quarter view, the eye that is close in the three-quarter view will appear much bigger than the second eye. Now, from the ear to the chin here to the other ear has to be imagined in this way. From this side, it's kind of like this shape, which is like a reverse C looking to this guy's right, and from this shape it's like a reverse S. But if he was looking the other way around, it would actually look like a C and an S. So you can think about the C and the S shape to remember that from this side the shape of the chin is C shaped, and from this side here it's S or reverse S shape. Of course this cheekbone is too low and too weird, but just so you remember that this is the thing you need to follow, and this is the thing that you need to follow. Now this is what you kind of need to remember when thinking about three-quarter view. Okay, now we're gonna do that exercise. Circle, middle, side. See how quickly you can do it? You can just do it with one motion. You just do the circle, and then you go through the middle, and then you go through the 2/3 of it basically, which will create the 2 halves of the middle and then the side of the face, right? Let's do that 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. It's okay if you go a little bit overboard. Don't worry, we're here to have fun. Do one to the other side. Amazing, good job guys. So now what are we gonna do? We are going to put middle line for the eyes, then the nose, then the mouth. Ears will be here, maybe. This will be the hair, maybe. Face number 1 complete. Let's go number 2. This guy looks evil. Evil. I don't know who's that. No, he looks like a crow actually. A vampiric crow. This guy looks like a vampire. The cheeky vampire, I would call him. Cheeky boy. Now let's do this one. Let's go with big eyes. Small nose. Small mouth. Because this angle is very awkward for me and I can't move my hands very well. So I'm going with small stuff. But yeah, why not? Have fun. Enjoy. What makes it easy for yourself. Sometimes that's a good thing. Now let's go with the final face. I'm gonna go with eyes that are round. And an eye that is not too round, a bit more neutral than round. And a nose that is distinguished expression. I like these kinds of noses. I like doing them. I feel like they can be extremely telling of an evil, regal king who taxes his subjects in an unfair and unjust way, which is quite cool for a story and quite horrible for real life. Whoopsie, touched the mic again, my bad. So, these are 3 3/4 faces, I mean 4, and like I say every time, every lesson can be taught in a way where you can try to have fun afterwards by applying those rules in a way where you don't try to force it, or just try to do what you can remember, and if you don't, that's okay, you try again when you feel like it. These types of games are really good, and it's really good to try and really repeat them. That's really important, to do them at least like once, even if it takes you like less than 5 minutes. That's perfect. If you can repeat these types of games in increments of less than 5 minutes during your day, when you can just draw these things on a small piece of paper, you hold it well, you make sure you have good posture, you can control your canvas. Even if your canvas is small, you can have fun and enjoy. These types of games are very good for you. You can draw people you see in front of you, which is even more advanced, and if you can do that, that's even better. You will notice that most people you look at, you're gonna see them in 3/4 view in real life as well. You're rarely gonna be looking at a guy directly from the side or directly in front of him. Especially if you're in front of him, he's gonna like see you looking at him. It's gonna be awkward. Alright, so that's it for lesson number 3, and we're gonna talk next about expressions.